It's called EPIC, the Exotic Pet Industry Conference, and it's free to register at epic.live. EPIC is over 20 special guests across 16 sessions covering industry trends, marketing, branding, podcasting, and YouTube. EPIC is for pet keepers and breeders. It's for gecko and invert lovers. It's for snake and spider lovers. EPIC is for anyone who enjoys these amazing animals. Did I mention it's free? Register now at epic.live.
Some new guests are our speakers. We've got some new sponsors and everything on that, Dread. So Palm Street, they're going to be there. They're representing. They're actually I'm the producer of the Business Breeder Track, so we'll have them on there with Robin of Redline Shipping. It's going to be pretty awesome. They're doing a talk together, a presentation, but definitely check it out. Exotic pets industry, just trying to bring it together a little bit more.
Oh, Dave, that's awesome.
Next Friday, April 4th. All right.
Be there.
That's right, baby.
That's going all day. I mean,
7 to 10 virtually live that night, and then it will be able to be watched for free again for going forward in the future. I think it's got a 30-day contract on a format, and then it can maybe go through another avenue. We're not sure yet what the second place is, but it will be free to watch for good. So lots of good information there as far as how to grow your business. There's podcasters. There's people that have millions of subscribers, literally. There's CEOs, there's breeders, there's mentors, mentees, big names, fun names. It's going to be pretty cool. The Wild Type girls, they're going to be one of the presenters. They're one of the guests. Someone mentioned
what it do, nephew?
Cool. Thanks for rolling through, guys. And let's get Cigar City up here. What do you say?
Yeah, let's get Jen up here
And give her the
no
main
one wants to
screen. See us. What up?
Hey.
Jen. So you're in Lakeland.
Yeah, middle of
Lakeland. I mean, whatever
Lakeland.
Part of the woods you're in. So
whatever dirt road I'm sitting on.
Yeah, I was trying to go to Florida one time with my work, and I'm a power plant operator, and we had some plants back there, and yeah, I tried to get there but couldn't get there. I don't know why. I guess they just didn't want anybody that went from Texas to California. That guy's got to be nuts. We don't want him coming to Florida, so
we didn't want you here.
No. But isn't there a bunch of isn't it like a bunch? It's like swampy, isn't it? Sinkholes
Yeah, well, so I don't have a lot of sinkholes where I'm at. That's probably like 30 minutes east.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, so very far away.
It is swampy though. So even when we had the hurricanes roll through last year, it actually flooded out so bad that like the linemen were taking like john boats and canoes and stuff to go fix the lines because it's so swampy. I'm high enough up, but the swamp is like 10 minutes down the road.
Oh yeah.
The old man beard moss dangling from the trees, all the palmettos, the live oaks. Yeah,
fixing lines with a gator swimming by. It's Florida.
Yeah, no big deal.
So.
That is right. So how did you do? I know you guys helped out the bogs quite a bit. How did you guys end up faring there?
So we had a few pretty large trees. I mean, we have like 40 and 50-year-old oak trees here. So we actually had one that was across the street that broke in half, and half of it fell across the road and into our yard, and then the other half fell kind of blocking the old people across the street in. So that took out all the power on the road, of course. And then we lost a couple trees in the back, but nothing hit the house.
Woo! Nice.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I can't really complain. Yeah, I could have been a lot worse. There were a lot of people who had trees fall through their house, people who got flooded out. If they didn't get flooded out the first time, they got flooded out the second time, or they flooded both times. So, I had to glamp for a little while with a 5-gallon bucket of pool water to flush the toilet, but...
Yeah, you make do.
I was complaining the whole time.
Yeah, but it's better than the alternative, so... It
is better than the alternative, but I was complaining. And when the lineman showed up, I was like, thank you. I do not have to glamp anymore. Thank you. Like, this haul in a bucket is not me. I'm not cut out for this. So... But it was, it was an experience. I've never been through hurricanes like that, and I've lived here my whole life. So,
really,
wow.
And like you could even, we have hurricane windows, and we were laying in the living room for the second storm when the bods were here. All of us were in the living room, all the dogs, the incubator, like everything was out there. And we're laying there literally watching my hurricane windows flex and breathe with the pressure.
Wow.
That was crazy. Hindsight, I wish I had recorded that because I'll probably, hopefully, never see that again. But
I had one in Clearwater. It came from the East Coast and went across the state, and it was still strong enough. It hit us like a week 3, strong 2 by the time it came from the mainland of the peninsula over
yeah,
to Clearwater. It was odd, very odd. But I remember we had gotten so much rain, and like entire roofs came peeled off of apartment buildings, like a 3-story, X number 18, apartments, in the
yeah,
Florida style. The whole roof cap flew off of one, which made quite the noise. And I remember big giant trees rocking their roots, watching the roots getting stolen off the ground. Like the wind was so waterlogged. We didn't have any major damage, but right down the block there, the whole area there. I don't think I would stay through a 3 or 4 with kids at all. I wouldn't stay.
it gets a little hairy.
Definitely leaving.
Yeah, it gets a little hairy. Depending on the storm, I usually ship my kids out, or at least send them somewhere if I can that's away from the storm. So like that second storm, my 3 older ones went out of state with their dad, so I just have my youngest. So it makes it a little easier. In the grand scheme of things, yeah, we all lost a lot, but those storms, first storm wiped out like North Carolina, and all those places got hit a hell of a lot harder than. Not that we didn't get hit, but I think our infrastructure is set up different. So, and Floridians really were kind of used to this, and we're built different. So
that kind of rains, yeah.
I think we bounce back better. I mean, there's a lot of community here. We're not stonewalled by law enforcement and stuff. Everybody kind of helps out with everybody, and everybody allows it. So it's just different,
Nice. So you're staying Florida, not moving.
I mean, I randomly talk trash about, I hate Florida, but I mean, I was born and raised here. My family's here.
Well, and a lot of the species you keep also tend to like the higher natural humidity, fairly frequent swings in barometric pressure, with the storms that come and go. So you've got a lot of good things going for you husbandry-wise. I feel like in Florida, you can grow anything. When it comes to reptiles,
but I can't keep what I want either. I mean, there's some species that I've looked into that I can't keep here. So
yeah, so you just got to, your pros and cons, and
yeah, do I want to keep it that bad, or do I not?
Where would you? Okay, if you had to go somewhere, where would you want to
go? I don't know, 200 acres in the middle of BFE, Texas, somewhere where the closest Walmart is 5-hour drive.
So you're in like doable. West Texas somewhere.
It'll be hot. I'll tell you that.
That's okay. It's hot here. I mean, sometimes the humidity is so oppressive.
It's different. That West Texas hot is hot.
Yeah, but dry heat and then like 110, I'm good. I'm good. I'll just drink some water. But you get like
you still got that humidity on top of it.
Oh, well, then I might have to move to North Texas.
It's bad. Yeah, I'm telling you,
we're throwing pins in a map right now.
Yeah, I might just close my eyes and throw a dart. No, I've always loved Tennessee. Tennessee's beautiful. So.
Yeah. Turn on another air conditioner, right?
Yeah, if it's gonna be like moving to Florida, we might have to,
So how's the podcast, man? How is it going over there? What's cracking?
It's been a growth opportunity. Like, I like to think that I'm an extrovert. I really you can put me in a room with a bunch of strangers and I'll carry on a conversation with somebody. But getting in front of the camera and interviewing people, I was so nervous. And I know watching growth from my first podcast to where I'm at now, I see there's growth, but I also see where there's room for improvement. So it's been a learning opportunity.
Self-critique, yeah. It's really easy to do. I think the further back it gets in time, the easier you're like, whatever. I feel like if you record something and you listen to it 10 seconds later, you're like, oh my God, my voice is like nails on a chalkboard. But then you give it a week, a month, 6 months, and you go back and look at YouTube, you go, well. The one thing I try to remember if I ever got nervous was doing the kind of stuff, podcasting, putting yourself out there. it's more, if people want to criticize, okay, well, it's more than 90% of folks out here are willing to do. How many people are petrified of public speaking
Yes.
or can't carry a conversation or, whatever shortcoming or, whatever there may be. But it's better than most people can do. Most people don't put themselves, try to do something serious or educational. It's one thing to get like a TikTok dance and like dance around like a fool, but it's another to like hold a conversation that is intriguing or at least has some good knowledge in it.
Yeah. And for me, it was like different personalities have different vibes too. So it's like, how do I overcome, like, maybe if your personality's not like, you know, you know what I'm saying?
How many personalities are here with us now, Jen?
I mean, it depends on what my mood is. You might have several.
I love it. I love it. Speaking of moods
Okay,
changing,
so times that by whatever I'm in. So Phil, you're doomed, man.
Yeah, you're just set up for failure tonight, friend.
that's okay. That's all right. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So moods changing. Let's talk about your collection. What's changing? Take us down the path. What's happening with all
You're
this new
selling
content
out.
on
You're
your Insta?
selling it all.
Yeah, I hit a midlife crisis. Was like,
Midlife. Oh, you must. Okay.
No.
so obviously I started with ball pythons. And I grew and grew and grew some more.
And now they're dead to you.
It's not that they're dead to me, honestly. I got my first chondro almost 2 years ago.
Man,
And that kind of lit a fire for me, like where I enjoyed the ball pythons. And truthfully, I had a huge passion for them in the beginning. The passions kind of faded. And I know it's because I juggle a lot,
Yep.
Right.
And it's a lot of work. When I got that first chondro, though, it was like the fuel to the fire for me. Like, holy cow, this species is freaking incredible. Like, it just reignited that passion. And then I was still chugging along with the ball pythons. And then probably, I don't know. How long has it been, Phil? It's been like 6 months, 8 months. I don't know. 10 months, something like that.
Yeah.
I started kind of hem-hawing around about, do I still want to do ball pythons? Like, is this really where my passion still is? And as time has gone on, I've obviously acquired more green trees. Then I started to shift. Like, okay, I'm doing this and I'm enjoying this more. I enjoy keeping them more even. And honestly, on the scale of work, you change water every day. You spray them down as you need to. You have to change their puppy pads as adults once every couple weeks. Like, overall, the care is a lot different. You don't have Chip getting knocked into water bowls.
Oh, gosh.
You don't have poop smeared down the damn tub every other day.
Oh, man.
So for me, with my lifestyle and everything I have going on, it's like, okay, what's going to make more sense, but is still going to keep that passion that I'm not going to get burned out on. So then I started cutting back on some ball pythons. I dialed back what I was going to be pairing. And then I was like, okay, well, let's do another species. So for a little bit there, I kind of hem-hawed around. Like, do I like Amazons? I love Amazons. Do I want to do emeralds? Do I pick up an emerald? And then these 3 Amazons popped up on Morph Market. And, well, that's all she wrote. The Amazons are fun. They are like little 2-year-olds all the time. Like, one minute they're cool and collected. The next minute they're like doing this little head rub on your hands, turn around and bite you. Like, but the bite doesn't hurt. It's more of like, oh, you're so cute. Oh, look, haha. Right. It's not, it draws blood, but it's not anything crazy. But they're a cool species. They're so alert and they literally watch everything. Huh. So that's where I'm at now. So now I have chondros, Amazons. I'm waiting for my 8th Amazon to be shipped to me.
Hey, this accelerated quickly.
8 since January.
wow.
I don't have a problem.
All right, take us. Let's go see them. Let's go see these new.
So I'll bring them this way. Hold on, because let's see.
I mean,
'Cause
now I'm interested. I mean,
I'm
if
on
it's
my
that
camera.
addictive, I want to
Hold on.
see.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Dread man, Chondro. There was a red, about a year and a half year old red changing color Biak. It was an import, but it had been they'd own it for about a year, I guess. It's
So
the same as mine. It
with
was.
these guys, they're easy to set up as babies. Literally,
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
shoebox tub, and then you just do the lattice, and then I throw like a little clipping of pothos in there, and they're happy as a clam. So, and you keep them like literally dialed back like you would a baby chondro. Come here, little baby.
What do you mean, food intake wise, or?
No, like just simplicity of their enclosure.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, that's really hard for people to reconcile the aesthetic they have in their mind and
Yeah.
how much they're wanting to put into the animal because
Let's see if I can get it to
really
focus
cool.
without getting bit.
It's
Hey,
bigger
little
than
friend.
expected.
We're probably gonna end up biting the shit out of me. That's okay. It's hard to,
Coloration.
like, I don't want to hold up my hand and then it like, hey, dinner.
He is so cool.
Tell
But
us
they'll
about the
literally
color as it
track.
matures.
They'll track your hand. So like even when I clean out their tubs, I like to put them on like a little wooden piece of dry wood, and they'll sit there on the dry wood and literally be perched up like this, but watching me clean the enclosure. But this one is so I bought it as a red het calico, but as it's shedding more, it's starting to get a lot more calico look to it. So we shall see how that pans out. Like I said, it's kind of hard to see on this
Does
camera.
it change as it ages? Is there an OCC with these?
So they do
Yeah.
go through an OCC, but it's not to the same extreme as like your green trees.
Okay.
So it's not going to be a full shift in the color palette. They'll either get like a lot brighter or darker, but it's not to the extreme of like yellow or red to green and blue. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Are you watching me?
What kind of temps? What kind of humidity?
So these guys sit around 88 for a hot spot because they kind of perch down, and this rack has a belly heat. I set it to 87 so that my perches for up top for my green trees, for my
Right.
babies, obviously are the temps that they need as well. And they do well with it. Ambient in here is 84. So
wow.
for the most part, it's already warm enough in here anyways. So
Oh wow. Okay.
we're watching me. So
Feeding response. More
it's
chondro,
amazing.
more boa.
Um,
What's up, Jeff?
These guys are kind of derpy, honestly. So they have a good feeding response, but they'll strike 20 million times before they actually hit it. It's kind of funny.
Really?
I mean, but you see it now. It's like literally watching me talk.
Yeah.
Where I guess it depends on which chondro. I mean, I have some that are so freaking crazy on their feeding response. They eat the puppy pad when they smell rat in the room. So.
My two as well, and the one coming from Chuck in like May, it's also it's been a dynamo eater. So see, I'll have three. It'd been a year and a half, and I would have three chondros in my possession. So that's an
Slacking.
example of a more normal pace as opposed to 8 and 3 and 2.5.
Yeah, but she just says you're slacking. That's all that is. Slacker.
Listen, if I didn't move as many balls as I had, I wouldn't have picked up so many. I just was in a place where I could, and I mean, all of them came from
I'm so excited
really,
for that move. The way you
That's
take
awesome.
parlay and like
really solid breeders. I just had one import that I had picked up. That was my very first one. But that one, its panels all came back negative. It's doing amazing. It's transitioned to frozen thawed. So I still can't complain. And I wouldn't normally recommend people just pick up an import when they're getting brand new into a new species. But for me, it wasn't much different.
So one of your tree boas is an import, you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one is mean.
Perfect.
That one is actually, I don't know if I can get it in here. And that enclosure over here that you see, you can actually probably see some like tree branches and stuff in it.
Yep.
So I have that one set up a little bit more naturalistic. Then I have my red import chondro. My I'll just pull her ass out, honestly. The
I
designer.
love the branching, man. Those are awesome.
Reptile perch.
Yeah, well, I know.
I love them. I had to cut them down to fit in the condos, but
Right.
hi, you're like watching to see when you're gonna bite me. So no, I love these guys. These are awesome.
How humid do they like it?
Pretty much the same humidity you would do for your chondros, honestly.
So they
So
can't take it too high all the time.
no, so like I'll bump it up when I need to, and then I'll let it kind of dissipate, and then I'll do the same thing over again. Same thing I do with the chondros. So, but they do well. They're easy to keep once you get them obviously dialed in, and he's still literally tracking my hand. Putting them away is fun because I want to go everywhere else, put back in their little box. Hold on. I'll go grab one that's a different, like, opposite end of the spectrum. Oh, go on, Frank.
Man, new people. We got new news for Epic. All kinds of stuff. It's starting to really come together, man. We're filling in the last few slots, and I'm excited, Dred.
Dude, we're less than a week away.
Yep, next Friday.
Next Friday.
All right, so this one probably will bite me. Oh, that's okay. Hi, friend.
So I thought they would be more humid. That's interesting. A little bit more warm than the 84, 85 for chondros. Oh, look at this.
Try to get it to focus. We're gonna watch me still.
Oh, there you go. There you go. For some reason, there it is. Yep, that depth.
Nope. So that one obviously keeps wanting to get out of focus. Is a different end of the spectrum.
So that's fresh blood. Is that the import?
No, this is a brand new baby that I got from Ian from S&J.
Yep.
So I actually ended up picking up 2 from him. But this one is getting ready to go and shed again. You can tell it's a little bit younger, obviously. It's a little bit more derpy.
What kind of prey type are they eating for you?
So these guys are on pinky mice
Okay.
at this size.
Do they have risk of prolapse like chondros do or no?
Yeah.
They do, okay.
Yeah.
A lot of similarities, that's for sure.
Well, and that was why I kind of went this route too, because it was, if I'm going to get more species, I wanted them to all be similar in some, not necessarily the same keeping, but close enough to where
right,
I can pull off multiple species.
Right, a few micro adjustments on this end, and you're where you need to be. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. Too dissimilar. I just feel like you just get scattered. It's hard to like maintain this diet. Oh, this group of lizards eats. I gotta chop veggies every day. Oh, these ones want only waxworms. Oh, these only eat this, and then I gotta feed mice and I gotta feed rats, and this one's brewmating, and it's got to be hard to be, I think, spread too thin.
You are hunting.
Mm-hmm.
You're about to double back on me, huh?
So boa feeding response. You gotta love that.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it. It's like, where is it? I'm waiting for it to like reach down and kiss me.
So now that you have, how many did you say? 32 of these now. When are you gonna start having litters?
So my oldest ones are only a year and a half old. Oh, you're gonna kiss me in the face, huh? So I got at least a year and a half for these guys.
Oh, they can go about 3 or 4. They don't have to be the 4.5, 5, 6.
Yeah, no. Obviously, I'll play it by ear though too. So body structure, feeding, or like just their overall health before I get into it. I'm not in a big rush.
My rainbow boa girl has spread some urates, which is a sign of them being ready. And I think the birth year was relayed to me inaccurately. I think she's older. She's over 5.5 foot, and I'd have to get a weight on her again. But she's a big girl. She can eat small adult rats once in a while as a challenge meal. So she's a big girl, and I with the urates, I think she's ready to go. I think she's 4. And rainbow boas depends. I mean, I've got the Bible on them, but I don't know if you've heard differently, but sometimes it's body overall length and body, like you said, composition more than
Yeah.
just a calendar age for them.
I mean, I kind of follow the same
Thanks, Marcus and Tiffany.
thought process even with the ball pythons. Like, yeah, they might be 3 years old, but how is their overall body composition? Because they can be 3 years old and be the right weight, but they're still super skinny. Like,
Okay.
so, and then I have some that are 5 years old that I didn't breed till they were 5, just because they
Wow.
have a smaller build. Like, they're not your 3,000 and 4,000 gram snakes. They're just hitting 1,500 grams, but they're thick. And they still have gone on to lay. Honestly, those have been my ones that bounce back the best. They would go on to lay probably 17 or 1,800 grams. And when they laid, I got 6 or 7 perfect, beautiful eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And they were 1,500 grams. And right back on food, didn't even look like they laid.
Wow.
So, which really drove home okay, body composition, obviously age factors in, but body composition overall too. Are they at least this age plus this body composition? So this little one is definitely in hunt mode.
It looks like a little statue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out how Kyle Hoffman got breeder girls up to 18 of breeding weight by 18 months. 18 months.
I mean, different strokes for different folks.
Small. He's got a rattery that's huge. Small, frequent meals, I'm told from a few different people, is a key to that. But
yeah, I mean, and they'll put on size that way. The most common I will do for my adults, depending on, like, obviously again body structure, because some of them can go a couple weeks without eating. They're so freaking thick. But I'll do like a small every 7 to 10 days for my adults. But I'd rather grow them slow. So if it takes you, again, 4 or 5 years to get to breeding size, then it takes you 4 or 5 years. I want you healthy. I don't need you fat and popping out eggs at 18 months old for me.
right.
Yeah, I get that.
But
They
whatever
need to
works
be
for
mature.
people.
Yeah,
I'm not
you're
sure.
right.
I'm not sure he paired that girl. He just said she got up to that size as an exercise of using that theory to the extreme was small, frequent meals.
Yeah.
But it's still the animals you're saying still kind of grow at a different rate. You just got to.
Yeah, and they do. So, I mean,
What's up, Rhonda?
small, frequent meals, they can still have great body structure. It just depends on how they grow individually. You can have 3 animals from the same clutch, and one of them be totally different in size from the other 2, and they all eat exactly the same. So,
True.
Oh,
That.
are we going to do the head rub and bite my finger?
You sound like you're fully prepared for it at any time.
Because they'll sit like this for a little while, and then they'll literally like nuzzle your hand like a dog, and then they'll just turn around and like, and they don't just do it once; they do it like 3 or 4 times.
Dred's been looking at arboreal snakes for a while. He's definitely got the itch.
They're freaking incredible. Like, it's
One day.
It's a totally different
One
type
day.
of keeping.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And it's so cool to come out like in the morning and turn on the lights, and all of them are out. Like, and like these guys will literally put their face up in the front of the enclosure looking at you. I'm like, hey.
Yeah. I've several of my buddies out here have they've got, my one buddy's got a Biak, and then my other buddy got one the other day. I can't remember what he told me he got, but he got into one, and he does ball pythons, but this is what he told me. He goes, "This is my next venture right now, to get me several of these and to start working with them." And I said, "Yeah, I said, you're going to get addicted, and you're going to wind up getting rid of those balls or keeping it, just a couple clutches like what you're doing." And he started laughing, and he goes, "Yeah, you're probably right."
I'll put this baby away, and I'll pull out the Tamika. Well, actually,
And I even think my other buddy that has the Biak might even be wanting to get another one, right? I got all his ball pythons over here, but he might be wanting to get one. And I see why. No doubt. I really do. I mean, they're gorgeous. The way you keep them, right, it's really not that difficult. get in the routine. And
No, and with them, like honestly, it's super clean and simple. So, oh Jesus,
yeah,
somebody
and
just
just
saw
like what you're
Mochi right
saying,
there.
right? You're just
What's up,
changing a puppy pad here
Nikki?
and there. I mean,
So I do,
dadgum,
yeah, I
you
do a
get
puppy
sick of
pad
cleaning
puppy
these
pad
daggum
tray.
snakes.
There's a couple of perches. There's an elevated water bowl. There's a plant in the back, water bowl on the bottom, and then I just throw pothos in to help with humidity.
Right.
But yeah, they're set up super simple. So here, I'll pull out
Yeah,
the.
that to me, that's the way to.
Really, you put your money in your heating item and your thermostat, dude. I mean, you can
Yeah.
even use a Tupperware from
And
Walmart.
then like babies, it's the shoebox rack with a perch.
Yeah.
Simple. But this is the newest one.
See, I could do that. I just gotta. Yeah. One
So this,
day,
Heck, they can go in a 6-7 quart tub for about a dang year.
a,
there it
a
goes.
while.
See if I can get it to do it again. Maybe.
And that's which one's that? A manic? What'd you say? A
This is
maniquari?
a Jayapura Tamika
A,
cross.
a Tamika.
Tamika is the one I really am coveting
That's what
bad.
you. Yeah, the one you
So you
want.
can see it's just starting to go through its OCC when it comes into focus.
Everybody wants Tamika.
See if I
Thanks,
can.
Nikki, for
I
the
want
shout.
what no one
Appreciate
else
it.
wants.
The problem is with the Tamikas is they come up online and then they go away. So like this whole clutch, all of the babies are starting to go through their OCC, and every single one of them is turning like a dark forest green.
So you think they'll be back on the market because people are underwowed, or keep them because they're so unique?
No, I think the people who've gotten them are going to keep them. So there's one there. At least it was up there this morning. I haven't checked this afternoon because I'm on Morph Market like 20 times a day. But don't tell nobody that.
You just told everybody that.
I know. Shh, don't tell anybody. I literally it sits up
She
at
sits
my
over there
office.
gauging the market to sell her ball pythons. That's all it is. She's looking
That's
at
Yeah,
all
just
it is.
market research.
Constantly doing market research. Like I can tell you how many chondros are on there. I can tell you how many Amazon tripos are on there. I can tell you which one sold when it disappears. Like
Hey, she sounds like Kyle, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Except on the chondros, where he's on the ball
So you've
pythons.
got 32 Amazon tree boas now in the
I have,
last 2
I have,
weeks.
I have my eighth one coming. Don't say 32. I got
Wrong.
it.
42.
It
I've got
only
my
She's
took
up
eighth
to
one
42
10 days.
coming.
now.
It was on Amazon Prime. It was a hell of a deal.
And then I have 1, 2,
What's
3,
the chondro
4.
count?
1, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I have 6? Jesus Christ. Yes, 6. 6 contracts.
She looked down. She was counting that toe. I saw it. She was counting that
Yeah,
toe.
yeah.
She looked down. She had it. I saw the look.
I have 6 chondros. Honestly, Carly's got a couple of chondros on there that, whew, if I could justify it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm at 3. I'm hoping this year, as soon as possible, as soon as financially possible, and I can find one. I want an adult, or just close to ready to breed female. That's not fresh out of the wild. I don't care if she was once upon a time wild caught, but I don't want her to be like straight off a tree, put on a boat kind of a thing. It's just not going to work. But
If you, oh, come on.
I want an adult female, and I think I'm going to try to save up my lunch money. And I have a secret wish that somebody makes part of their clutch available after the 1 year mark when they like to stop, watching them and maybe make a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to save up my big boy money if he even decides to.
Are you gonna come off your perch, baby? Oh, you're gonna
I
hiss at me.
see. I
Okay.
see. All those removable perches are key. To
With these guys, 110%, 110%. Like a lot of them, their disposition changes so much once they're out of the enclosure.
Right.
So, like they'll go from hunt mode to, oh, hey, let me come off and explore a little bit. So yeah, the removable perches with these guys, 10 out of 10. Always. Don't fix your perches with these guys.
Yeah, my one of my tub iterations, Dread, it was like a 27 quart. It was on its side, and I had it modified and insulated.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff, and those were fixed perches. Yeah, they could come out for cleaning, but
Yeah,
they were
but those
dowel
still
rods.
turned out good.
It worked, but he was very cage defensive. The
Right.
Alex did not. And now with the removable perches that I've upgraded to, and I can lift that thing out, it is much more mellow, much more mellow.
Well, yeah, they're getting interaction that way, and
My little one from
they
Carly,
get used to
super
coming in
nice.
and out like that, and probably
Hi.
calm down.
Oh, today's the 27th. It's my Conjo's birthday. One from Carly.
What? Happy birthday, Condro.
So, and then the only other thing with these guys is obviously you kind of let them do it on their own terms. So you kind of let them come off their perches on their own. You don't really want to force these guys because you can damage their tails too. So
What age is that one approximately?
she will be 2 on my birthday, April 30th. So this is Bill's 2311. She's a Jaeger Clover baby. But
That's
yeah, it's cool.
awesome.
And you can see all her spots when the camera focuses coming in along her whole body. She's turning into a speckled mess, but it's super cool. So
I mean, it's crazy. It's like racehorse genetics.
yeah, you don't know what you're gonna get. Literally, it's a crapshoot.
It's coming up on 2. Okay.
Yeah, and her OCC slowed down a lot, so she's keeping a lot of the yellows along her sides. Like I said, she's getting all these spots. The spots are yellows and blues and whites, all down her dorsal. And then I'm starting to notice some more blues coming in on her like face, even like along her eye stripes and stuff. There's some more blue scales along the back of her head. So she's starting to slow down a little bit, but she's still got a lot to change. And I mean, you can still see her tail is pretty
Pretty yellow.
yeah. But super chill once she's off her perch again. These are a cool species. And then she's starting to get more blue, like right along her mouth and the front of her face too.
Yeah, I feel like that light, the blue comes in later if they're getting it laterally or on the face. At least that's my mature observation so far.
But she's the only one I have going through OCC right now. So
Okay, so which one of those at this point in time, because I know they're forever changing, it seems like their whole life, they seem like to not ever stay the same. Uh, which one is your favorite one? I know that's hard to ask.
So my favorite obviously is going to be her
Okay.
because I mean this is the one that took me to this point. My second favorite. Oh, are you in hunt mode, pretty girl? Is this one here? She's kind of looking at me like, "Are we eating tonight, Mom, or are we not?" Which they're not. She's just slamming food right now.
Yep.
It's gonna be. So you see the big one that's kind of in the corner there.
Yep.
So that's. I don't know if I can stretch this all the way over there. She's kind of looking.
Yeah.
So that's my Clover. Obviously, not the same mother as the one in here, but that's my second favorite. She's freaking awesome as hell. She's not nearly as friendly. Obviously, we're putting urates all over our enclosure. And then this is the male. We've made a big mess in the back. I will clean that, I promise, because it stinks.
Awesome.
But although I'll probably put welding gloves on tonight to clean it with how much she's in hunt mode. So she's my second favorite. When I got her, she was kind of super edgy. She kept even like striking the side of the bin that she was in for transport. And since I've had her, we've adjusted to each other.
You had a discussion.
We had to come into
Yeah,
Jesus.
we came to an agreement.
Yeah, she knows who's boss most of the time, except when she's in feed mode, and then she's the boss.
Your rooms, you said it's about 84 ambient. Do you do supplemental heating in your chondro cages?
So I have it set up, but typically it doesn't run. So, like at night, we're still having temp swings. Where are you going? At night, we're still having temp swings where it's dropping down in the 50s. So it kicks on more at night.
Gotcha. Yeah. What do you set? Those are like 83 if the room's at 84 kind of a thing. So they just allow for a little cool night drop, but kick on if need be. Or
Correct.
do you do a night drop on your adults? I guess that's a question.
No, I have the adults set up to drop to 83 at night. So
Okay.
once the room drops, then obviously that'll kick on just a little bit to maintain the temp more so. Um, but yeah, my babies know I keep them set at 85 still. So I don't run super hot for them.
Yeah, I didn't start doing night drops on the young ones barely till about the 11th
Do
month.
you find those guys eat pretty good anyway, so I guess that might
Oh yeah,
debunk that.
these I don't have a problem with these guys.
I was just gonna say, right, like running them just at it, just a little bit on the warmer may help the babies eat a little bit better.
I have only one that's a problem feeder, and it doesn't matter what I do with it; it still is a problem feeder.
It
So
just
it gets assist fed every 4 days currently.
wow,
Chicken
little
gizzards
guy.
Yep.
assist fed every 4 days. Eventually, it'll decide it wants to start eating again, and it'll start eating again. But until then, we're just assist feeding, and I got it down to a fine science, and I get bit every single time.
Yeah. I think Chuck was having some success chasing a sliver of that with a thought or whatever, pinky.
Yeah, my problem is I get it down its throat, and it literally will hold it in its
Mhm.
throat for 30 freaking minutes with its mouth open, and it'll randomly try to do like this dive bomb to try to
Yeah.
throw the chicken gizzard out of its throat. So I literally sit there with this freaking
Oh,
snake in my hand with the chicken gizzard sitting in its throat while it tries to dive bomb, and I kind of course correct it so it can't, because they will literally throw the prey out. Like they will dive bomb, shake their head, and the prey
Good.
goes launching. So yeah, we've bonded. Even if she, even if it never grows up to be a breeder and it's always a runt, at this point, we're in it for the long haul.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, it takes some commitment to literally sit here and assist feed her or him or it. I think it's a her at this point because it's such a pain in the ass.
Ha.
Um,
Mine have been pretty great, knock on wood. I've been lucky. I know the Conjuro game or emeralds and stuff, they can find a way to kick you in the gonads and put you down for the count. I know they
yeah,
can be terrible things can just kind of happen without much explanation at all. So I'm bracing for it one day, but so far so good.
I mean, I'm kind of glad it's happening because it's giving me the experience before I have a clutch of babies that are even smaller.
Yep.
So it's definitely different than assist feeding like a ball python. I will for sure say that. Like these little guys definitely fight it a whole lot more. Um,
I've noticed that with young baby carpets that they really work really hard to get that thing back up out their throat. They're so annoying.
yeah, they work really hard at working your last nerve. Like you're
Yeah.
sitting there like, come on, are we for real? But like I said, it's experience. So
Something you got to deal with.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. And when
Imagine the
you,
stress of having like 5 to 15 babies, that
I mean, I'll be such an old pro at assist feeding by then. I'll be like, boop, 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 and keep it moving.
Yeah, you get good at it.
You do. The adjustment, though, like I randomly put nails on. Ladies, don't put nails on if you have to assist feed a snake. It sucks.
Yeah, yeah, you get
you
good
just
at
spoke
it.
to a very
Yeah.
narrow market.
But there are women in the hobby. So even though there's even fewer of us in the arboreal stuff. So
Yeah, and then there's even fewer
men
that
don't
wear
put
nails.
nails on and then try to assist feed either. We don't
There's
judge.
the women that have arboreals have to assist feed and also have nails. All three of them just heard you loud and clear. Which
You're making,
ironically is double the amount of viewers we have right now, I think, Dread. Just kidding.
you're making fun of me, Phil.
No, I'm making fun of me because, yeah, got to
Well,
keep it
we are
real.
laughing at you, so.
That's okay. I laugh at myself, especially when I put nails on and then I go clean out rat shit. And
Oh
I'm like,
no, I
why
don't
did
know.
I even do this? Like, what?
Right.
I think the ladies need to hear that because I that would never occurred to me,
Yeah, yeah,
but it makes perfect sense because you do got to get that finger down in there, and of course you're getting all the teeth, along the edges of your
yeah.
finger and cuticle, but having an extra nail just never occurred to me. Oh, I'll take that off my to-do list.
Yeah, don't put nails on and then have to assist me, Phil.
I have to tell my
Yeah, I'll
daughter.
make sure and get my nails removed. I need to
Listen, we
get
still
a
have to be a
manicure
little
anyway.
girly around here. Jesus, give us a break.
That's true. Yeah. Own it. That's all good.
So,
So
but yeah.
next editions are more what's I guess it's relative to ball python clearing out and deciding what projects are your favorites to really hang on. Um,
Yeah, that's my biggest struggle right now. I really go back and forth on it a lot of do I get rid of every last one of my ball pythons or do I keep my little projects? And
I say don't get rid of them all. I say keep you figure out a rack to have keep you like a 2.8 or something of something you really love.
yeah, definitely more Amazons in the future, more Chondros in the future. I still go back and forth on whether I would do emeralds. I love seeing zinnias like you.
I do.
Um,
I'm glad you went Trebo up, and especially the high colors. I kind of feel like the natural progression is always Chondro people graduate to emeralds, and I just myself personally, and I don't even, I just don't, I don't, I
they
like
all
the
look
look of
very
them.
similar.
Hmm?
They all look very similar.
Yeah, and I'm not a biggest fan of their adult head shape on emeralds. I love their body, I love their paint job, but if I was, I'm glad you went a little bit. I just feel like it's more creative, more unique. Stand out.
Well, I
That's
think it's there's still a lot to learn about Amazons, especially the genetic side of things. There's still so much to learn. So that was one of the other draws to it for me was it's got so much potential for growth. So let me get into a species that is still kind of that niche species. And there's a ton of Amazon tree boa breeders that keep chondros. It's kind of funny though because you either keep chondros and emeralds or you keep chondros and Amazons.
never all three.
I'm not seeing very many people that keep all three of them. No,
Huh.
but I think it would be cool to have like one emerald.
Yeah, Carly's unusual because she's got the spar neck scrubs, and I
Yes,
think she had some boas, and she had some other stuff, so that's unusual.
yeah, she had the quite the mix there. Um, but yeah, that was a huge draw for me to go Amazon instead of emerald. Was I wanted something that it looked different, and you can put two garden phase Amazons together and end up with all sorts of color babies. It's
Huh. That's exciting. A bag of
so
Skittles.
yeah. I was like, this would be fun. Obviously, the more quality the genetics involved, the better looking the animal. Obviously, that's across the board. It doesn't matter what species you do. You can tell quality versus not quality. Call
So
it
I
for
guess
what
you
it
could, if
is.
you had a couple of babies that were just like, oh my God, these things are neon purple. There's never been a neon purple snake before. You can line breed those and then see what happens. I
And
mean,
see what happens.
yeah. And I guess that's the drive is to find a pattern or something that pops up or a coloration that pops up and then line
Like red
breed.
calicos are freaking amazing. I have a red calico coming. Red calicos can be red with high white. They can be red with low white and lots of black. There's such a
Oh,
variety in them.
I've seen those. I didn't know the morph name. Okay.
Oh, they are flipping amazing. If you go on, I can't say his last name, Randy P's page, it's Stoic Arboreals. He has red calicos on his Instagram. Oh my God, they're so freaking cool.
Hmm.
They're so cool. And then they have like a leucistic Amazon. It almost looks like a little alien baby. It's almost white with like these yellow eyes. They're super cool.
Wow. I've not heard of them. To definitely check that out.
Yeah. So that was the draw. You know,
Hmm.
I like a little adventure.
Good. And I personally, I really do love the path. I love that you went with the Amazon tree boas, and that there's just so many things I barely know about them, and so
I'm
I'm
still learning.
glad
I
you're
feel like
sharing.
I have a ton to learn, but the community for Amazon Tribos is so welcoming and so like as soon as it was like, oh, welcome to the dark side. Well, here, let me introduce you to this person and let me introduce you to that person and love it.
That's
I love
awesome.
every second of it. So,
What about you, Dredd? What are you going to dive into?
The swimming pool.
Not the shallow end, please, sir. We need you.
Well, then, yeah, the shallow end first. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to, get my footing on which way we want to go with these ball pythons. I got an idea. I still want to mess with the boas of
the
some
boas are
sort.
cool.
I like the chondros. I really do. I want to have a Biok, at some point. I don't know. It's got to be kind of easy, right? Simple. I don't like if it's a lot of maintenance. It's got to be kind of easy for me to.
I mean, these guys are pretty simple. Throw a
Yeah,
puppy
it's got
pad
to be
in the
kind of
bottom
simple for
and
yeah. So
change your
I don't
water.
I don't want to be overwhelmed, right? It's got to. The ball pythons are not even a big deal. That's nothing anymore. Um, I don't know. I really don't want to mess with boas of some sort. I like the Terrahumaras, the mountain boas.
That'd be cool.
I mean, I
Something
love
different.
those too. I really do. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll see.
Get you some Sanzinius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love them. They from what I've read, they're a great animal to handle, good feeding response, pretty forgiving requirements for keeping. Good for
I got to
keeping
look
them
into those.
arboreal.
I haven't looked into
They look venomous as
what
hell.
I would need. Yeah.
I love it.
So talking to Ian, because we touched on it a little bit when I brought him on my podcast. Like adults, it's not quite this height of an enclosure. It's actually a little lower, but they're
Really
longer enclosures because
interesting.
as babies they start out arboreal, and then as adults they pretty much just turn fat and lazy.
That's why I've heard different accounts. Okay, hold on one second.
Well, okay.
So as a baby, you almost want it to be more in like something like this that I have
Yeah.
these guys in. But yeah, as adults, it's his enclosures were shorter and longer because he's like they might go up on a ledge and bask under the heat lamp,
Right.
but other than that, that's as far up as they go.
Well, that's not bad.
So, and from my understanding, the keeping is pretty run of the mill as far as like temps and humidity and that type of thing. So, something to think about. And supposedly they're super docile, like
Yeah, it's
the
got to be
teddy bear of
docile.
reptiles. Teddy bear of reptiles. He said his daughter holds them all the time.
Yeah. I'd prefer something like that.
You
That
don't want a
way,
little
my wife
Amazon that's
wanted
going to
to.
try to bite you.
Yes, he
Yeah.
does.
Well, you got they're out. My wife wants to be involved with stuff too, and handle them, but she don't like them if they're gonna bite.
Oh, well,
Oh,
then
I
I
always
guess
tell her,
that.
go open that drawer over there. Go open that drawer over there. No, I'm not opening that drawer. Because there's always one that'll jump out at you.
I mean, these guys won't jump out. They kind of more of like stick their head up and they're like doing one of these numbers.
Oh, I got a little ball python over here. She'll come out of the daggum tub. I mean,
Oh yeah, I believe it. My ball pythons are crazy like
right?
that too.
She'll
I got
come
the
out
damn
after
sissy
you.
stick to pull the drawer open, So
Yeah, I mean, it's look out. That's what I say. Open that one right there.
Are they easy to gender from little up? Do you already know what mix you have, boys to girls?
So I have one that is confirmed male. So it depends on the breeder on if they're sexed or not. Some of the breeders can sex them as babies based off of how they feel like behind the
The
opening of their
spurs.
vent, behind their vent. Like, I guess depending on if it's male or female, it feels differently. Some just wait until they're a year and a half, 2 years old, and then probe them, or wait until they shed, like these guys. So it really just depends on the breeder.
Sure wish it was easier. I know. What do you like to wait for in your chondros? I was told 100 grams at least.
So I still haven't even probed this girl. I'm assuming she's a girl because we haven't gotten any hemipenes yet, and I've been told she's of a decent size for me to probe her.
Yeah.
And I haven't probed her. For me, what's the rush? You know what I'm saying? Like, we still got 3 years to go at least. So
Right.
at some point, we're either going to get some hemipenes or we're not, or she's going to be huge, and I'll just bite the bullet and probe her at that point. But
Interesting. Yeah, you're right. They just gotta. Let's see. Santos has. He says on the tailpipe edges, boa is one bump female, two bump. Wait, one bump
One
female.
bump, yeah, one bump female, two bump.
Yeah, I think
One
that's the
bump.
spurs off of their vestige of their hips, I believe, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Boas have those spurs. What's
That's
up,
like
Josh?
when people pop ball pythons. Unless it's a brand new hatchling, I can't pop it to save my life. Cannot pop it to save my life. So
Man,
me
too
trying to
cool.
feel whether there's one bump or two, I'll be sitting there rubbing its cloaca the whole damn day trying to figure.
You almost wonder, I guess, and I don't know enough about the science. I was like, I wonder if ultrasound could show that, like, just show you the skeletal structure outline.
Sir, did you see how them things were when I pulled them out?
Yeah, tiny.
How the hell am I going to ultrasound that? It's going to try to bite me, and I'm going to just end up with ultrasound gel all over me.
So then we just wait and see what they are eventually.
We'll just wait. I'm not in a rush. If I was in a rush, I would have just bought a bunch of adults, but you know.
I think they feed and breed. They get to know you and your area, your routines, the vibrations that walking around, and just there is something to be said for raising them up. I think with success down the line, but
Well, and I think they're fun. It's like seriously, it's like dealing with my kids, but in a reptile form. One minute we're nice, the next minute we're raging. So.
Yeah.
And then we go back to being nice again after you take a few bites out of me. Right.
Okay, that does sound.
It's like a toddler.
Point. Right, you're on point with that.
Stomp our feet a little bit, and then we're good again.
So when are you done vending shows with ball pythons? I know you said you canceled upcoming ones. You got any more? You got any other shows?
I have no shows pending.
Okay.
Shut
it down.
For now, at least. Obviously, I'm going to keep my banner, keep most of my stuff. I'll probably get rid of most of my displays, though, because if I'm shrinking ball pythons down to what I'm going to shrink them down to, I'm not going to need massive displays anyways, because it's not going to be my primary thing on a table.
In Daytona.
We'll see how. Yeah, but I won't use them for any of these guys. So
no, I said I could use them. I'll be swinging by that area.
So will I vend shows? The goal is at some point, once I have babies on the ground from like Amazons and Chondros, maybe getting into 2 of the bigger shows and just doing a big show twice a year or something like that.
Yeah,
that might be cool.
Something more spaced out and sporadic, honestly. With work, school, kids, life, the collection. The shows are a lot. And they can be exhausting. And then you still have rats you got to take care of. You've got everything else you've got to do. And where I'm at in my life, it just doesn't.
Yeah, vending a lot of frequent shows. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Exactly.
And I don't know if I want to vend a lot of shows with these species. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we go out twice a year, cool. I don't know if I want you out 3 or 4 times a quarter. You know what I'm saying?
Gosh, no. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Very smart.
And then you're busy with your kids. Your kids have always got something going on.
Kids, I have 4 of those balls and chains.
Yeah.
And then
so
I work.
You're trying to find that balance.
I work as a manager in a bank, and then I go to school full time as well. So I don't have balance. I don't know.
Yeah, right. You don't have it.
I don't have balance.
I still haven't found it yet.
I don't know what that is. I have not figured out.
Pedal to the metal, gas all the time.
Yeah. I have not figured out balance whatsoever. Like,
I'm retired and I still can't find balance, so don't.
Well,
don't feel bad. Right. My boys are in high school, right? So pain in the necks.
I hear that. My oldest is almost 17, and yes, I just dated myself. Okay. Shh.
Well, same as me, so you're good.
So he's almost 17, and yeah, between eating me out of house and home, the constant.
At age, you got 2 hollow legs.
Oh my God, you ain't lying. And he's like 6'2". He looks like a man.
See, my boy, same thing. 17, lifting weights like crazy. I mean, he's huge. It's a side of beef a week, Go butcher another cow. All right.
But they all do it. Like even my almost 14-year-old, he freaking all damn night I hear the fridge open, close, open.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
Jesus Christ! Like how much food can you pack
So many
down your
calories. Yeah,
gullet?
it is fun being a teenage boy. You can eat a crazy amount of food.
Like we eat that much food, and we're gonna be freaking rolling off the damn couch like a roly poly.
It is fun at night. Like when you're a teenager, yeah, nighttime snacks or staying up late and just chowing on junk food. It's like a rite of passage when you're 15, 16. I don't know. It's awesome.
No, it's not. Groceries are too damn expensive for all that.
Well,
They
that-
are these days. I mean, it's really
Groceries are too expensive,
don't
and then
even
they
want to
don't
get
even
into
help
that
out.
number.
You know, they don't clean snake poop. They don't clean rat poop. So why are you gonna eat me out of house and home? You don't even pay for it.
Yeah,
Man, oh man.
go get a job. Go the military, right?
Go do something. Go do something with your life. No, they're good kids. I wouldn't train them. But
But bye. You're good kids. I love you, but the door is that way.
yeah, when you're 18, you're gonna get pushed out of the nest if you don't leave on your own accord.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Time to
I
spread
agree.
your
I
wings.
agree.
Because then
We've
I'll be in
already-
my prime. It's time for me to travel the world. Like you have got to go. You're
Yep. Yep. We're
So-
almost done. Same thing.
And Drew's gonna take a cruise over here to Arkansas. Like, there's a couple of riverboats that might get you here, bro.
Yep.
those river boats don't move fast enough.
They don't. They
Really,
got
no
to
boat is
unhook
big
them
enough.
from the.
No boat is big enough. I'll never go on any sort of cruise.
Yeah, I've never done a cruise. It doesn't really attract me. If I had one free, I'd go to check it out, but I don't think I'd choose it as a vacation type at all. I'd rather have an Airbnb bungalow and be left alone and just go do fish what I want to do, snorkel when I want to snorkel, sit in the
Yeah,
hammock,
Airbnb
sleep
is the
in,
way
stay
to
up all
go.
night. I don't want to have a little tiny closet cabin to sleep in and like hurtle through buffets and listen to terrible Elvis Presley impersonators, like share a hot tub with 500,000 people. No,
No, you're not down for that.
no, I'm not good,
No.
man. And then someone gets cholera, dysentery,
And
septic,
then you're stuck on the damn
conundrum.
cruise boat forever.
And you're on the cruise
Yeah.
boat.
No.
No.
I don't
Yeah.
even
Well, when
want to
you
go
come
to.
home-
I don't
when
even
you
want to
come
go
to-
to Disneyland for the half a
Oh
day.
yeah, no, forget Disney World. Ugh,
So no.
forget it.
It's
Ugh.
fun when the kids are little. I had a good time. I went there in October of 22. Yeah. It was a
Last
great-
time I went, my oldest was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And he got MRSA.
Oh, cool. Why? That's
Awesome.
terrible.
And I was like, I'll never go to Disney World again.
How much?
Yeah, I no doubt.
And then at Disney World, it's at the gift shop, and you go tell them about it. Well, a Band-Aid's $17.50. What?
Well, we didn't even
Place
realize.
to go.
Like he came. We stayed up there for a weekend, and then that Sunday night, like he's like, "Oh, I have a bug bite on my shin." And come like Monday night, it was the size of $1 and hot and turned like dark red and growing. Like we kept drawing the marker circles around it, and it was just spreading.
Oh, that's.
And so, yeah, then we
we
found
got
out.
to. At that point, you're ready to amputate before you even get him anywhere.
Well, what's gross is you take them to the urgent care, and they take this little like, it's like a hole punch,
Right.
and they literally put it up to the wound and they punch a hole in it.
And then give them some oral antibiotics. Pack it with a bandage and send you anywhere.
But everybody has to bathe in special soap so that nobody else can catch MRSA, and you have to use
in the
gloves when
whole
you're cleaning
house.
it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I knew
Yeah,
it was
'cause it's
highly
super
contagious.
contagious.
Okay.
And
Wow.
then every night we had to squeeze it out and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. And then like this day 7, we squeezed and it was like a rock of infection that like shot out. It was so freaking gross.
That
Ugh.
sounds awesome.
It's so gross. But yeah, oral antibiotics, an ointment, like an antibiotic ointment. Yeah. And that weird.
Yeah,
soap.
I'm not going to nothing Disney ever again.
So I was like, no, we're done with the theme parks. I'm out. If y'all want to go, you can go by yourselves.
I'm
You
out.
catch MRSA, you're going to somebody else's house because I'm not doing this.
Jen runs a tight ship down there, Dred. I don't know if you picked
Well,
up
she
on
has
that.
to.
I have to. Out of my 4 kids, 3 are boys, and 1 is a preteen raging girl. I have to run a damn tight ship.
That will put you in your place.
It's a dog eat dog world around here.
I see.
Yep.
My kids will tell you, my mom will put me through a wall if I mouth off to her. You're right, I will.
Take no
As
prisoners.
long as you know that. So when it happens, you can't act surprised.
I'm actually scared right now, Dred. She said that. Looked at the camera.
Well,
Hey,
they're
hey,
all bigger than me,
She
hey,
and
means
she's
so
business.
hey, she sounds like my sister-in-law. If my nephew's on here, he was earlier. He may not still be here. He'll attest. She went down to school one time. Or my niece, right, got caught kissing some boy in the high school. She
she whooped
went
her ass
down to the
right there
high
at school.
school, grabbed her, and wore her hind end out all the way down that freaking. They're looking at her. You can't, and she goes, "The hell I can't. She's my kid. I'm gonna do it." And wore her ass out all the way at the fucking in high school. You ain't kissing no boys in
Yeah.
school. Wham, wham. It's
But
in
now
Texas.
the teachers and the staff at the schools, a lot of them, as long as you discipline accordingly and it's not
Yeah,
abusive, you know what I'm saying? They are like, thank you. Because there's so many parents nowadays that are scared to discipline their children on any level that, like, when they get that one parent that they already know, I'm going to call your mom. And it goes out across the walkie talkie. Like, one of my boys just got in trouble. Weston's mom is on her way. The whole school knew Weston's mom was coming to drag his ass out by his ear.
oh yeah,
But I mean, I divorced their dad, my older three. I divorced their dad when they were a lot younger. So for the longest, I was raising my kids on my own. So I
Yeah.
used to tell them, as you grow up, once you're eye level with me and you're built like a man, I'm going to manhandle you like a freaking man, because you're not going to be 13, 14, 15 years old thinking you run this house because you're bigger than me.
Yeah.
Like, so I have always run a tight ship, but my kids are the first ones. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Opening doors for people and holding them. So
Treat them that respect, man. That is awesome. I was raised by a single mom for the first 7 years of my life for the most part, and then the latter teen years. So I know, yeah, moms that raise kids up on their own. It was me and two younger brothers, so
yeah.
I can kind of relate, And moms that have that, they don't mess around, man. They mean business.
No, and it stays with
They'll
them.
get
So
respect.
even like if you lax off as they get a little older, like now I'm not so yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Like just yes, no. You don't have to be like
yeah.
But I've laxed off, and they still a lot of times, not necessarily with me, but with other people, keep those same behaviors. So
Yeah. Well, it sounds like they're going to be fine young men. You've raised them up right.
Lord, I hope so. Either that, or they better be damn good criminals and not get caught.
That's what I'm saying. That right? You're on your own. You can, yeah.
I know.
Because
What?
I'm not bailing you out.
You
I'm
don't want
not
to
putting money
listen,
on
then
your
you're on
book.
your own.
Yeah. Not
I
putting
ain't
money on your
bailing you out.
book.
I
Not
done told
bailing
him
you
you're
out.
spending the night. You get
Not
caught, you're
calling.
spending the night. Don't call me. I said, go ahead and call it, because I'm going to tell you that exact thing. You're staying the night. I'm
Yeah.
not coming down there.
Better get comfy. Better enjoy those PB&J or those ham and
Yeah,
cheese with
get
no
used
cheese.
to it. Yeah,
Mom,
yeah.
I'm some bad man's boyfriend now.
You do something stupid, that's on you.
Yep.
Deal
Tough
with
love.
it. Yep,
Tough love.
exactly.
And you get out of that place, mom sees you. Now you don't want to go back there again, do you? And you start hearing the riot act from mom as soon as you get out.
Mine would be like, don't call my mom. I'll just stay. Don't call my mom. Whatever
How
you
old
do.
do I got?
Actually, that's true. My stepbrother told the sheriff, this is in East Texas, they got arrested for minor in possessions, drinking. We all got MIPs at some point in our day, but they actually got hauled down. They all got hauled down to the jailhouse, out in the sticks. You didn't want to get arrested in East Mountain. And he goes, you got to call your parents. And my brother was like, no, sir. And he's like, son, you have to call your mom and dad. You're not 18. He goes,
Oh,
no, sir. I will not call my mother. No.
It's because he knew. Mama
You
came up
lock
there
me
and
the
she was
hell.
going to
He's what he
handle it.
said. He said, I will not call her. He's like, why? He goes, you just leave me here. I will not call her because it's going to be worse. And she had to call anyway. But that next morning when she went, he stayed the night. But when she went to the jailhouse, he looked at that sheriff and he goes, thanks a lot. And he goes to the sheriff. The sheriff looked at him and at my dad and said, now I see why he said don't call her. And my dad was, yeah, you shouldn't have called.
Yeah, because we go into a rage.
It'd have been better just to leave him here and let him out. We'd hear about it later and would have been a lot better.
We all go into a rage. We can't help ourselves.
Yeah. So that's what I tell my boys. Don't call me.
So, did
Man.
any of your boys do any of the reptile stuff?
Uh, he did. Got me back into it. This was back when he was in junior high, and got his first ball python. So what was this? Probably in early part of 2023. Um, I'm gonna get a ball python. All right, cool. And brought one home, and then that just lit the bug in me again because I've had them, off and on, and he was into it for a while, but they're in high school. He got into music and just kind of, you know how it is. They grow up and
Yeah.
they're just not there. It's cool. They come in here once in a while. They'll hang and check it out, but they're just, they're boys. Be boys, do your thing, play your music, and yeah, I don't make my boys do something they don't want to do.
Abby
I'm not
likes to
forcing
hold
them into
them.
sports and
She'll
hobbies
feed them.
that they
It's not the
don't,
same
you know what I'm
passion.
saying? You want to try it, let's try it. But if you don't want to do it, I'm not making you do it. You're right. You decide what you want to do, and if you want to do that, then we'll stick to it. But make sure you like it. But I'm not. If you don't want to do this, don't do it. This is my thing. I'd love for them to be involved with it, but this is mine and my wife's thing.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
My one of my boys got into it for a little while, but he's kind of out of it. My daughter is, and she picked up a crested gecko at one of the last shows, and she helps with like the lizards and the tortoises and all that. But the snakes aren't her thing,
Yeah.
which is
He
fine.
might get back into it again later. You never know.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. That none of mine really like any of the new species I'm getting into. So they like to look at them, but that's the extent of it.
well, he'd like to have, everybody wants big snakes, right? I want a big boa or a big retic, but we're not. My
I mean,
wife
I
doesn't
would
want
love a
to.
big
She don't want
retake
us to have
too.
big snakes, so I got to honor that. I'd like to have a super dwarf retic. They don't get very big. A true super dwarf, but I don't
I
know.
like the species I was looking into getting into was the cat-eyed snakes, the
Yes, I like them.
boiga ciegas, or however the hell you say it.
Yes.
They are so freaking cool. But of course, Florida has a restriction on the entire boiga class.
So
Yeah, I
mangrove
probably can't
snake.
even get those out here.
So for me to be able to get it, I have to have my 1,000-hour apprenticeship for venomous with that specific class.
Oh
And I
yeah.
don't know of anybody out here that has boiga. They're just that specific species subspecies they're a rear fang venomous. So
Right.
it's not even
Isn't that
anything
the
that's gonna
same as
like
the
bite you,
mangrove?
and yeah,
Yeah.
it's not gonna bite you and you're gonna freaking keel over and die. You know what I'm saying? Like you're
Right.
just gonna get a little
Same
irritation.
genus.
There's
So
just going to be a little irritation, but they're such a cool freaking species.
the cat-eyed crossed my mind. Yes, they definitely did. And I like mangroves, but boy, when they're nasty, they're nasty.
Yeah, but they're so cool.
Yeah, mangroves are super cool. I like them a lot. But
So,
I don't know if I'll ever mess with it.
and I like
I've had
eyelash vipers too. But
Well,
again,
yeah, straight front bang hot. Yeah, there's some, but that's for me. Yeah, the bush vipers, eyelash, and Solaris. Those are what would draw me in. Snakes on sticks.
just a little spicy thing on a
Right.
acorn hanging from a perch.
Yeah.
So I love this one though. This is who did it for me. Don't get a chondro because then you'll be sucked in.
You know what? If there's any chondros left over, just let Jen take them off. She'll just take them. Don't even buy any. Don't waste your time. It's a terrible idea. Let her get them all.
No, I don't want them all. There's some that I'm like, meh.
Meh. All right, what's next on your podcast? How best can we? I know we're on the Herb Collectors Network for your show. Mondays,
So
8 Eastern.
my next episode, I'm bringing Randy on from Stoic Arboreals
Okay.
to talk more about like Amazons and kind of branch out a little bit more. I want to start trying to bring more people on that keep multiple species so we can kind of dive into a little bit of everything and not just be chondro related.
Arboreal or wider?
Arboreal.
Okay.
Because we have other shows on the network, obviously, that cover like your ball pythons, and then we have some that cover other species and touch on other stuff. So, yeah, arboreal.
Nice. I love
Anything
it.
arboreal.
I don't know. They're fun. I just think they're more fun than terrestrial myself. I don't know
Yeah.
So
why.
let me ask you this, because you're in Arborough, and even Phil here, the wizard. This guy doesn't forget anything. Like he's got a memory like a steel trap. Uh, so someone new that wants to get into arboreals, not just any particular species, but what would be a good, just say, entry arboreal? I know, obviously, do your research, right? Research is key. Um, be prepared always. But what would be, say, a good entry level arboreal? That might be kind of loaded
That is kind of a loaded question because
because that can vary for different
it
people.
can, like, what your capacity is to maintain temps, humidity, what your other experience is. I mean, there are a lot of people that just jump right into green trees.
Because yeah, and I
Um,
don't know that that would be a good. Right, I'd say more of an intermediate would be better getting
Well,
into.
well,
I think you can do it as a beginner, but
Well,
you
yeah,
have to do your homework. And I would always say, get your enclosure, like figure out, first of all, are you getting a baby? Are you getting a yearling, subadult, adult? What are you getting? What is your goal here? And then get the right enclosure. I mean, really, reptile perch makes the little one singular unit. Are you trying to wrap
yep.
on the mic?
right. Because
Um,
your arboreal enclosures, right? So your crops for all type of arboreal species.
yeah,
It's yeah,
yeah. So, I mean, and a lot of it, you can start them like I've shown. You can start them in the little
with it
shoebox tubs,
right.
and as long as you do your homework, I think you can pretty much get into anything. Now, I would say don't necessarily jump into an import as your first one unless you have prior experience with keeping reptiles and dealing with some of the issues that they can come with, and even still research who you're getting them from. Because there are some of these guys that bring in the imports that make sure they're treated for parasites extremely well. They're established, they're there for several months.
Correct.
They've made sure, and they'll even offer NITO testing for, send me the money, I'll NITO test it before I ship it type of thing. If you're going to go for an import, I would go for one from one of those people. I wouldn't go for the person who has only had it for a couple weeks, says they've treated it for parasites and they're moving it already. Because really, have you had enough time to truly observe this animal?
Right.
That one for a beginner, not so much. I would say that needs to be for somebody who has had more experience. If you have the money, a designer or a U.S. captive born and bred from an established breeder who isn't even going to send you the animal for 6 months, it's perfect because you're getting an animal that is so well established and it's past all of those points of, the high risk for prolapses and injuries and deciding it's just going to go off food because it shed and the weather shifted. You're past a lot of that. So you can get into
Life threatening stuck sheds. When they're a little older,
Yes.
it's easier to weather, but neonates, it can be a death sentence. So
Yeah.
there's all kinds of little things to get through in the beginning. That's a very good point.
And don't throw your little tiny baby into a bioactive enclosure right off rip and think it's going to thrive because
Well, what about okay? Say you want to get into it. This brings up a good point too. You get into it. You go to your local reptile show, right? Someone has some green trees or whoever, right? Even if it's a big whoever, not gonna say their name. They're in these tubs. How do you know even what you're getting?
you don't
You don't.
you don't
Same,
know what
same.
you're
So
getting.
even a reptile show without doing proper due diligence,
I
on
mean,
say
unless
that
it's like your
breeder.
Daytona or something like that, where you have a breeder who's known, who brings like their U.S. captive born and bred. They still have the lineage. They can pull it up on their phone. They can talk through it all. That's a different story. But I mean, even one of the last reps
Right.
I was at, the guy's like, "Oh yeah, you can hold these, but they won't bite after 10 or 15 minutes." And the animal was clearly stressed the hell out. Like, don't tell Joe Schmo off the street that this is a great animal for them, because it's not. Like, let's be honest. None of these people you're showing this to have the experience to deal with this animal.
Right.
Right.
So, but I think people can get in. It's not hard keeping these. Like, once you dial in their enclosure, it really is not hard to keep them.
I
It's
think the
Well,
biggest
that's
thing,
why
else.
you have 48 of them now. I
I
mean,
don't have 48.
12 months, 9 months time frame.
No.
40. She's up to what, 67 now
yeah, I think
in
a few
six
came in
months.
since we've been on the show. A few more arrived.
I wish. I
What
wish.
did we
There's
start?
a few
What did we
that are
start
on
at
there
like
that,
8? Now we're up to 76.
I think the biggest thing, man, is people have to just get through their head to how to keep them simply.
yes.
Take that beautiful tropical concept and the little fake plants from PetSmart and the fake bamboo sticks with suction cups. Take all that and just they're like an inch and a half wide and you get just baby
Yeah.
Neo on it. Take all that pet store crap out of there and
Keep
go
it simple.
to the hardware and the storage aisle at Walmart and then get yourself a good thermostat and heat panel, Reptile Basics or somewhere, Wilbanks, whatever. Get you something decent and just spend like maybe 20 to 50 bucks on the rest of your setup at most, at the very most. And you can modify. I got these little holders, a bag of 20 of them that hold, they're sticky on one side and they're a little clear socket. I
Oh
have one,
yeah,
but
those are awesome.
20, it's 20 of them for $4 at Walmart. You stick them to the side and it cuts, like if you carefully cut a children's plastic hanger, it holds it, or an adult plastic hanger, it holds it. And guess what? I found that it even holds fiberglass stakes that are like $7 that have a reflector on them for your driveway at Home Depot. And it's it's bigger than 8 millimeter, but nowhere near a half inch. So it's good for that tweener size animal. It holds them. It's a perch holder for them.
You're
It's
teaching
a
me something,
tweener
because
holder.
I just go out and buy more purchase. I'm like, oh, let me go on a reptile perch and drop like another $200 on perches
Right.
But
and branches.
I
Like,
find
Right.
8 millimeter and
You can
half
do
inch.
this budget, budget minded, but make sure you are getting your animal from someone reputable so you know what you're getting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
10
that
out
I
of
guess that's
10.
kind of
That's
the
the
point I
best
wanted
advice
to.
you can give, is make
Okay.
sure you know what you're getting. Like,
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
the $300 wild caught imported BIAC is not necessarily going to be the best option, because you may end up spending several hundred more dollars on getting it treated for parasites, making sure it's NIDO negative, getting all the treatments, and then you could have just dropped all that money on one that was from a more reputable source.
Right. True.
So,
I got
and always
lucky with
quarantine.
mine, but that's not
Always quarantine.
right.
So
No,
best
people are
advice.
90 days to 6 months usually on the quarantine.
For me, it depends on the animal, and it depends on where it came from.
And where it come from.
Because if it's coming from a collection where I know they have already NIDO tested it twice, they NIDO test their entire collection 4 times a year. For the most part, they keep a closed collection. If anything's introduced, it's gone through quarantine and been NIDO tested a gazillion times. I'm a little more lax on my quarantine with those animals versus the import that sits in quarantine
Right.
for
Oh
6
gosh.
months and
Oh,
has to run
absolutely.
a clean panel and 3 negative NIDO
Three
tests.
negatives. Yeah. I totally agree with that.
So, but yeah, keep it simple. You don't need the Amazon rainforest in your living room in a little tiny enclosure. Like, it's really okay.
It
That's
is
for you, not the snake.
simple entirely.
Yes, there
Simple.
you right there. There you right there.
That is
And that's
entirely for
hard for
you.
people to wrap their head around too, that.
Oh,
Well,
I know.
people, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to add a little bit of this and I'm just going to add, oh, it needs some substrate. It looks better than this puppy pad. Oh, I'm just going to, I
Yeah, and
want
they
to see
keep
it. I
adding and
want to
adding.
see it clear from all sides. I'm just
But
going to get
this animal sits on this branch, on this perch, 20 out of 24 hours a day.
make the perch good and make it the right area.
I
And
mean, even
Literally,
in the wild, they're perched up in the wild they only move to hunt
Yeah, and even then, that butt is still wrapped right around that perch. It's just the
They're
top
not
end that's
moving
coming down
far.
looking.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, they'll come down and explore a little bit. I noticed like my males explore more than my females.
Yep.
My females just are like acorns on a stick all the time. But like her, like I said, 20 out of 24 hours, she's on that perch. She'll move more now that she's off this perch and out of her enclosure. But once I put her back in, she'll kind of explore a little bit and she'll go right back to this branch on this perch and sit there. So anything as far as plants, obviously the pothos stay in there to help with humidity, but anything else is for my own warm and fuzzies.
Right.
It's not for anything else. And people don't
Absolutely.
realize that. They think that, oh, they need all this enrichment. Yeah, take them out, let them kind of stretch, set up a branch in the yard so that they can kind of climb around the branch and stretch out a little bit. But they're not going to interact with damn near anything but the water bowl and the puppy pad when they occasionally miss the food and decide to bite it. Like, so
It's true.
the Amazons do move around a little bit more in their
Awesome.
enclosures. So you'll see them randomly, like in different places. Like
Right.
this little one up here for now is like tucked behind its water bowl in the back. But every morning I'll come out and it's up here in this corner. It'll literally be curled around this branch here.
Yep.
And its head will be sitting here and it'll just be watching me. I mean, but even now, look, she's curling right back around her perch again.
Oh, yeah. Instinctive. They don't take them long.
No, not at all. So keep it simple, stupid. Keep it clean. And
cleaning is easier when it is simple. That's the biggest I think takeaway on that.
Because you literally fold up that puppy pad, spray some chlorhexidine down on the bottom, wipe it all down.
Yep.
Put a new puppy pad in and move on with your day.
Entirely.
So you don't have any mold. You don't have anything.
Nope.
It's clean.
That's entirely. Yep. Wake up in the morning, see a poo, take care of it right off the bat, and then that's it.
Unless you're like me, the poos get taken care of at night because
you like to
or whatever time. Yeah.
You like to go to battle.
Whatever
Let's
time.
Let's not get excited, Phil. At 4:30 in the morning, I can reassure you, I do not.
Yeah, you're not.
I need my coffee, and I need to be able to function and start that hour and a half drive to work. I don't need. Yeah, we get our lights turned on and said hello to, and
that's awesome.
Awesome.
All right, Dredd, you got anything else before we wrap up? We got to do our evening routine and dinner and all that good stuff. What else you got for us, Dredd? Anything?
Dude, I'm good, man. You guys just get signed up for the Epic. Keep promoting that conference. And Jen, this has been awesome.
It's been fun. Thank you.
Good to hang out with you as always.
Yeah, I didn't want a huge agenda. I hope that was okay. I just want to come hang out and hear about the changing collection and learn about Amazon boas, because I didn't really have a hard hitting, face the press kind of a moment. I just wanted to hang out and see what was changing with the collection. So I appreciate
all good. It's been fun.
Very cool.
I think these just kind of hangouts like this are really good. Just kind of just run with it and just keep it.
Yeah, just spur of the moment.
Well, yeah, like you said, you don't have every answer yet. You're still learning, and that's the fun part, I think, of getting in instead of you being the interviewer on your show, seeing your animals and hearing that excitement and hearing what's new, what you know, what you need to know, that's I think the fun part of what we've always done, Dredd, is just that sharing of knowledge and hell, see something new, look at some cool animals.
So much to learn.
Absolutely. I'm good. Guys, have a good night. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. That's for sure. I'm going to throw you guys backstage, run that Epic promo one last time, pull you guys down. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Check out Craig one more time, epic.live, the 4th. It's a Friday. It's coming.
It's called Epic, the Exotic Pet Industry Conference, and it's free to register at epic.live. Epic is over 20 special guests across 16 sessions covering industry trends, marketing, branding, podcasting, and YouTube. Epic is for pet keepers and breeders. It's for gecko and invert lovers. It's for snake and spider lovers. Epic is for anyone who enjoys these amazing animals. Did I mention it's free? Register now at epic.live.